This training session deals with entering and changing general ledger accounts. This is accomplished by selecting Enter Accounts from the General Ledger menu. On this screen, we see a list of all the general ledger accounts that have been set up in the system. We can insert a new one, or we can opt to highlight an existing one and click on the Change button. We now have the ability to assign a general ledger account number. This must follow the format we specified when we set up our system. In this particular company, it is a 5-digit account number. Here we can give the account a description. We can specify whether the account usually carries a debit or a credit balance. This will affect how the account balance shows when printed on the financial statement. We can set the account inactive by unchecking this box. This will allow us to exclude it from certain screens and reports. We can set a special account type here. This will dictate how the account is used throughout the system. We can also place a check in this box if the account happens to be a checking account. If the account is flagged as a checking account, or the account type selected is a credit card account, its transactions can be reconciled using the Bank Statement Reconciliation program. This checkbox allows us to indicate whether this is a distribution account. This I will explain. There may be times when you wish to distribute a transaction to multiple accounts. For example, you may have spent $1,000 for advertising, and you want to have the system automatically distribute the $1,000 to 4 different departments. You could set up a distribution advertising account here and attach your 4 departmental advertising accounts in this list box. You can weight the distribution evenly, that is, 25% to each account, or manually adjust the distribution so that the department with the highest sales volume gets the highest percentage. Whenever you post any amount to this distribution account, the transaction will be split up and sent to these sub-accounts. If the account has been flagged as a credit card account, you'll be able to enter a credit limit and a warning limit. The credit limit is the limit set by the credit card company for this card. The warning limit is a limit set by the user. Once the balance of this credit card surpasses the warning limit, the account will be flagged in the overview screen, reminding the user that the credit limit is being approached. As an example, if the credit limit for this card is $25,000, we might set the warning limit at $22,000. When the balance of this account goes over $22,000, the account will turn red in the overview screen, indicating that you have come close to maxing out the credit card. If the account type indicates this is a cash account, a button titled Edit Bank Information will appear. When we click this button, a window appears allowing us to enter more information about this bank account. This includes the bank name and address. This will be used if you're printing checks on blank check stock using magnetic toner. You can also enter the next available check number and voucher number if this is a checking account. The voucher number is for payroll direct deposit payments and vendor electronic funds transfers from this account. Here you can enter the bank account number, the ABA routing number, and the company ID assigned by your bank. These 3 fields are useful for creating an exported ACH text file if this account is being used for direct deposit transactions or electronic funds transfers. More information for the ACH file can be entered in this box. You have a certain amount of control over how the header line for your bank account is printed. Using these fields, you can specify how you wish this line to be created. On the right, you can check this box to have the file created using all capital letters, and this box to include an extra line in the ACH file for the offset amount withdrawn from your cash account. When you modify these settings, the example ACH header lines at the bottom will reflect your changes. Using this tab, we can view the placement of this account in our financial statement design. If this is a new account, we must place the account in our financial statement when we're finished entering the account information. The system will remind us of this in a moment. We also have a tab which shows the account balances of the displayed account. It shows the period total and the running balance at the end of each of the fiscal periods that are currently set up in our system, with the newest fiscal periods appearing at the top of the list. Here you can attach notes to this account. When we're finished entering our account, we can press the OK button to save our entries. At this point, we're reminded that although we have successfully added a new general ledger account, we may not yet have placed the account on the financial statement. Placing the account on the financial statement is accomplished either on the Financial Statement tab in this window or through the Design Financials menu option from the General Ledger menu. That process is covered in a separate training session. To place the account on the financial statement in this window, simply grab the account number from the box and drag it and drop it in the location where you want it to show up on the statement. It will then appear in the list box highlighted in red. You can move the account up and down using these arrows, or by grabbing it once again and dragging it to a different location. This concludes this training session on entering general ledger accounts.